Yo guys, it's your boy the Purist and we're here to talk boxing. Back with episode 45. Let's just get straight into it. Anthony Joshua loses a 12-round split decision. Yeah, 45, bro. Getting up in the numbers. Anthony Joshua loses a split decision to Alexander Usyk, who retains his unified heavyweight title. Now let's start with the fight before we go into the post-match antics. All right, now early on, it looked like Joshua had a good game plan going into it. He was on the front foot, although you could see his feet are heavy, bro. Like he could not walk Usyk down. He couldn't get him anywhere near the ropes early on. And it seemed like it was gonna be a long night for Joshua. But I think a lot of the body shots and him offsetting Usyk's jab, it really helped him just basically stay in the fight, to be honest with you. He did well early on, but you could tell Usyk was just trying to figure him out. Normally they say the boxer does better in the second fight, but I actually thought it was a closer overall fight than the first one. I thought Joshua shown more, and then it was a ninth round where Joshua had him going, but Usyk is too slick, it's too slippery. He avoided a lot of the shots. Don't get me wrong, he was hurt, and Joshua was trying to get him out of there, but Joshua ended up blowing his whole load. In the 10th round, I thought Usyk was going to get him out of there. Yes. And then I think 10, 11, and 12, Usyk pretty much swept those rounds, and that's how he won the fight. Let's start with Princess. Princess, what do you think of the fight?
Well, initially, I actually thought it was going to be a draw. I thought it would be a lot closer than it was. I think AJ did really well, like, at the beginning. I think he was pacing himself. He was weaning himself in. I think he maybe just didn't have as much time to wean himself in as he thought. And Usyk was just taking those rounds just a little bit more for me personally. I feel like he looked comfortable throughout. Like, he probably took 10 seconds to warm up in round one and was like, yep, I know where I'm at. I'm ready. Whereas AJ just, maybe the pressure of everything really just caught him, and you could tell that he needed to settle into it. Unless maybe that was his game plan. But yeah, it just didn't seem to work as well for me in comparison to Usyk. I thought the first 10 rounds was just a little bit slow for what I wanted. I wanted a bit more. I wanted more from AJ. I wanted him to sort of close the distance a bit more and, use his range and his distance and figure out his reach, really. Usyk did a lot. His footwork is just unmatched, let's be real. And yeah, I think AJ tried to compete with that, like really actually tried to compete with that rather than just using his strengths to just wear Usyk out and even maybe potentially throw a little bit of his weight around and just show him that I've got skills in this department because I am the bigger guy naturally. But yeah, round 10, 11 and 12 got quite intense. I think that's when I really started to wake up in the fight. I'm not going to lie. round 11 and 12 specifically, I was like, I wanted to really know what AJ's corner was telling him in those 10, 11, 12 rounds, because I don't know if they pushed that bit of sense of urgency in him, but he was too tired for me personally by that point for them to put whatever rocket that it seemed that they put into him. Maybe he just consciously got to the point where he was like, maybe I'm not, taking this with ease how I maybe thought I was. But yeah, I would like to know what they said to him. Last round, he just looked really exhausted to me. Like round 12 was, I'm sure he was, but yeah, he didn't have enough in his tank. And if there was an extra like 20 seconds of that round, I'm pretty sure it would have been a knockdown. And I don't know if AJ was conscious at that moment that he was that close to like sort of tethering off the edge. That's what slightly concerns me. Like he just didn't really realize, and I guess that overlapped into what happened after the fight. So yeah, overall, I'm slightly shocked that Usyk took it. I thought it would have been a bit closer. I thought it would have been like unanimous decision, like split decision, sorry. But I'm pleased with the actual fight. Like round 10, 11 and 12 made it a really good fight for me. So I'm proud of them, both.
Kuzan, what do you think?
First and foremost, man, it was a good fight. It was a good fight, man. It was a technical battle, bro. In the beginning, you can just tell, throughout the whole fight, you could tell they both wanted that shit. You could tell Joshua really wanted that shit. Like, he even kept them hands right. Of course, gradually as the fight went down, he started to get gassed, tired. Here's the thing: tip Anthony Joshua, get fat, bro. Put some fat on you, something, please. Stop looking like Adonis, bro. This shit is backfiring on you so many times, bro. I get it. Like sometimes it's just your genetic makeup. Go to Whataburger. Go eat a whole fucking log of just bad shit for you, bro. Get fat, bro. Please. Please. It will help you significantly, bro. The muscles is killing you, brother. They killing you. But anyway, no, it was a great fight, very technical. Like I said, Joshua, you can tell he was sticking to his game plan by hook or by crook. He had his hands up. He had the punch placement on Joshua's side earlier on was magnificent, bro. I think they were a little slow. But I mean, then again, you know, all that fucking muscle. And of course, Usyk is so much smaller than him. So Usyk's combinations were just popping off faster. And I think that's also what makes the judges be like, okay, well, if a motherfucker is just not throwing these straights, you know, these very robotic straights, let's be real. But the guy is moving and tagging you, it's going to look a little bit more, at least in my opinion. Those body shots was hurting my boy Usyk, which is really, that was really the key, I feel like. Was to just crush him with body shots early and then maybe later on start to just rough him up. But the problem, like you say, he couldn't grab the motherfucker. He couldn't get his hands on him because that man's footwork is impeccable, bro. The good thing I like about Usyk is, and it's literally how he would have to, the only way I feel like he would have to fighting these big ass dudes is you hitting away, bro. He's hitting, pivoting out. He's hitting, pivoting out. He's literally like one time, I think it was like in the 8th, or not, he hit Anthony Joshua with this check hook, bro. He hit him with the hook, then slipped under it, and he was behind him. Like, see, it's that type of shit that is just off-putting for Joshua because I feel like Joshua don't fight. He hasn't fought niggas like that before. So, like, when you see that shit happen to you, you're kind of like, you know. But he adjusted very well. He tried to. Towards the end, don't get me wrong, both of them were tired. But it's all about how you wear your exhaustion. And we all know Joshua wears his exhaustion on his sleeve, bro. Like when he's tired, everybody in their motherfucking mama know he's tired. My grandmother never seen Boxer walk. She said, "God damn, that boy tired." Everybody, you can tell when he's tired. Usyk was definitely tired too. Ain't no way you gonna tell me he wasn't tired. That nigga took bro. That 5.65, bro, was crushing this man, bro. And he was eating that shit. And you could tell he was tired too. You could tell some of those rounds he was, you know what I mean? He was tired. But it's all about how you wear it. He knew in his head, fuck it, I'm tired, but he got to be more tired than me. Fuck it, I'm going to keep going. And to the last second, he never stopped throwing those combos. Like, he never stopped being out of the fight. I felt like in the last 2 rounds, Joshua started being out of the fight. But it was a great fight, bro. I think it was a good decision. I don't think it was a robbery or nothing. You could have gave it a draw. I think if those last 2 rounds didn't go how they did, it probably would have been a draw. But those last 2 rounds, I feel like AJ kind of just let him go away just through pure exhaustion, especially round 12. I definitely feel like round 12 he let go away. But one thing I like about Usyk too is that motherfucker is like, okay, cool. He does this in a lot of his fights. Whenever you get the upper hand on this motherfucker, the next round, he's like, I'm gonna fuck you up because you think this is a game. Like, I like that about him because get your shit back. Like, you know what I mean? He was, because that 9th round was clearly a Joshua round. He said, all right, bet. 10th round gonna be mine though, bitch. And he came back out and he did that. Like, you wouldn't even think he got hurt the way he came back out in the 10th round because he was all up on him. Like, so it was a good fight, man. Joshua, it's tough, man. It's a tough loss, bro. But I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. But it was a good fight.
What I'll also say is like to add on to your point, like Joshua needs to be able to hit someone to actually win the fight. Like Usyk has really, really good head movement.
Yeah.
The whole fight, I was just like, you ain't gonna hit me. You can't see. Basically, you ain't gonna hit something that is moving all day. Like no matter how good you are, you're gonna have to hold that man still or get him against the ropes, or really be on a similar level to him in terms of his movement, alone to just catch him to even make a shot land well enough for you to have an impact. And also, I will say that I feel like because he moved so much, it would have been in his interest to work on the body a bit more, which I didn't see. And I wanted that. And I wanted AJ to really be like, do you know what? This guy's head just does this.
Yeah.
The whole 12 rounds, Usyk was like, even when he was tired, he was still
bopping around.
His head was still moving. So I think he really just needed to attack the body a bit more. But I say that very lightly because Usyk moves so much that like I don't even know how he would be attacking the body. But the thing is, when they took the rematch, you know what Usyk fights like. You know his style. Like he is known for his movement and his flexibility, just his head movement, everything. So that is actually the main thing that you should be coming into the ring with, like some sort of tools that say, yeah, I'm going to focus on getting this guy to stand still or whatever it is, but to catch him, basically, because you are playing cat and mouse.
Yeah.
And I just think, I don't know, maybe AJ just didn't really expect him to move so much, or maybe expected to land a few more shots and slow him down a bit earlier. But that just really didn't happen. Like the shots, like you said.
I think it's that. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. Go ahead.
No, it's fine. But yeah, he didn't really see it coming. And I think he expected a bit more from even himself, like AJ. And because that didn't happen, it maybe threw off his game plan just a little bit. Because he was like, well, this guy's still not hurt. We are now in round 10. Now what? Yeah. Like, what can you tell him in your corner at that point? Oh, yeah, his body is fine. His head is fine. His legs are still moving.
No, yeah. It definitely felt like Joshua was kind of waiting towards the end, like damn it, the nigga ain't tired yet. What the fuck? Like, it definitely kind of felt like that a little bit towards the end. But, like, I think he had a pretty good game plan. And the ways you hit Usyk when he's moving like that is through punch placement, which he was. He was rocking his shit. A couple of those rounds, he was hitting them with some good shit. But I just think the game plan that he had set out, his body, again, we back to this, his body could not keep it up, is what it is. I think it was a decent game plan. He fought way better than he did in this fight. Used way more straight punches, which is what he needed to do to keep him at bay, but also to, like, get in there, punch him to the body way more. But I just don't think he could. A combination of Usyk not stopping his pace and a combination of Joshua not being able to keep his pace is what I think ultimately led him to lose, for real. But yeah.
I think that's probably the most frustrating thing for Joshua. Is where he's improved from the last fight. With a few more fights with Robert Garcia, I think you can see a different kind of fighter.
Yeah.
But at the same time, he was hitting Usyk clean in a lot of the rounds. Like that check left hook that they clearly worked on. It was like I said, it was rocking Usyk's head. But then he was landing all them clean punches, and then still Usyk would come straight back. It's like maybe rounds, like I think it was round 8. I even said to the person watching with me, I was like, Joshua, every time Joshua lands clean, Usyk comes back with something.
Yep.
But he didn't that time. And then in round 9, when Joshua landed clean, Usyk didn't come back.
I
again, like you said, Joshua's he's too big, he's too muscular. The engine just wears off. He's just had nothing left in the tank. So I think where he's realized that I've done so much better in this fight, I've hit this guy clean, and I just didn't have the energy to, keep it going. I think that's why after the fight he was thinking, I've genuinely just lost to the better man. Like there's nothing I can do other than maybe some sort of PEDs that give you some mad energy boost to actually beat Usyk.
Bro. Lose the muscle and get fat. Go call up Tyson and say, bro, take me out to dinner and let's eat, bro. Let's just fucking talk, man. Let me be like you. Something, bro. Come on.
Yeah.
So what did you guys make of him post-fight throwing the belts at the ring and then that weird tirade he had on the microphone?
Whew.
You can go.
It was a lot. I understand that there's a lot of frustration in there. You can feel the frustration, and I love AJ as a boxer, and I think he has done a lot for the sport, so I completely respect it. But in the same breath, all of that emotion, it was overwhelming even to watch. So I can only imagine how AJ would have been feeling in the ring. And I think overall he was just tired of whatever the hell triggered him so bad. I feel like it might have been something to do with like Lomachenko. At the time, I watched Lomachenko make a comment, and I feel like it just spiraled rapidly. Like he was pissed already before that, but like after that, there was just, you could tell that his whole composure has just been lost. I mean, I feel for him because it can't be easy. That's what his second loss in his pro career. That's third. That's tight. That's tight for you to feel, and the pressure that he must be in. We can all appreciate it. He's basically the face of boxing, especially for UK. Well, for UK, but like, had to add that little disclaimer. Yeah, I think it was a lot. He did sort of steal the light of Usyk, which I feel like was also unfair for Usyk because at the end of the day, he's just won, and how he's feeling also matters. In the same breath, like, feel how you feel. I mean, AJ walked out the first part and then came back and was like, do you know what? I'm not done yet. And it's weird because in my head I was like, he's walked off to cool down. Like that bit of like anger that we saw in the first bit, I was like, all right, he knew that he was getting aggy and he went. I respect it. He went to go sit down. His team probably, you know, cussed him out a little bit and said, do you know what? Shake it off. We move, we go again. But he came back to the ring just with even more smoke. And it was almost a little bit uncomfortable to watch just because you're like, that same smoke, yeah? If you'd saved that and put it into maybe the beginning of the fight a bit more, or, you know, you might have just been in a little bit of a better position because you had that energy in your tank in the first place to have come out with that much aggression and anger, and that same passion could have helped you in the fight. But yeah, I after watching his conference with Eddie Hearn as well, I felt a bit bad for him. So I feel like I went through the motions with him. Like I watched him get angry and walk off. Then I felt, all right, he's angry, it's fine. Yeah. Then I watched him come back and I was like, he came back. Then I watched him like get everyone to say hip hip hooray. Yeah. So then I went through proper emotions with this. Like then I started feeling confused. Then I also was watching Usyk at the same time because I was like, is Usyk okay with that? Like, because I'm thinking if I won the belts, I'd be like, do you know what? Get out of the ring. It's my time now. I'm tired. I appreciate that, but I'm wasting energy watching you tell everyone that I'm great, but only because things have been going on with Ukraine. There was a lot in that. There was just so much emotion in it. And yeah, and then that didn't stop there. Like when Eddie Hearn did his little speech for AJ in the conference, you were like, oh, it's like you wanted to cry on that point. There was just too much emotion for me. Like I was overwhelmed. But yeah, I can't even knock him because I appreciate how he must have been feeling. And especially to hear other fans. I'm sure he would have had fans while he walked out the first time saying, you know, their little 2 pence. Because you did see him stop. I don't know if you guys saw, but when he walked off the first time, he threw the towel on the floor and then he stopped. Like he wanted to fight someone in the crowd. I thought, who's in the crowd? Who's that brave? I know he lost to Usyk, but that's Usyk. That's a whole nother level. You are just a guy in the crowd. Like, don't let AJ put your hands on him. But he was fuming. So like, there was just, like, it was a lot. I don't even know where to start with that. There was just so much going on. So yeah, he'd probably have heard loads of comments along the way of that, come back in. And his friends may have even told him in the changing rooms, look, I feel like his friends probably said, as his friend, like in the heat of the moment, like, look, you're right. However you feel is justified, you know? They don't know your story. They don't know how you felt. They don't know how long it took. Because that's what you do with your friends. Your friends get angry and you basically go, you're right. Calm down, but you're right. Yeah. But unfortunately, if they did do that, it definitely backfired because he came out and was like, do you know what?
And another thing.
Shout out to my cousin because my cousin knew.
Yo, he did. He did.
Back in the day, let me tell you. So he came out with the story instead of like leaving in changes. He came out back in the day, yeah. Things could have been different. And you guys don't want to remember that when you guys are buying tickets. But last 10 years have been hard. And like you respect it and it does remind you nicely. But at the same time, you're like, this is not your moment. This is actually Usyk's moment. And Usyk's just here getting everything translated, just like, yeah, everything is great.
Yeah, this is Usyk.
And you're like, Usyk showed great sportsmanship. I can't lie, because he didn't let it trigger him. Usyk actually looked confused. He was just like, who gave him the mic kind of flex, like, but then he was respectful enough to just let him have it and be like, yep, okay, whatever you say, my guy.
Wait, just to add, the person he was fighting in the crowd was actually the IBF commissioner. I don't know
He said, fuck these belts and fuck you, all right? That's crazy.
Literally, I think lucky for Joshua, it was in Saudi, innit? When he was doing that hip stuff, yeah, I was thinking if that's the UK crowd, I don't know which direction that was gonna go, innit? It's literally only when they started cheering, then I realized they don't sound English.
Yeah,
I was like, that's not the UK. I know they would have booed or they would have said something that he didn't expect. So lucky for him, it was in Saudi.
I feel like AJ timed it well. Like when he was doing he spoke a bit about himself too much, and then he went, anyway, Usyk's great. So it was like, just as you were getting pissed off, he's like, shout out to Usyk. Yes, I have the belts that you just threw on the floor 5 minutes ago, but I have that now. Like, what? So he just heated on, but for real, I think the UK crowd would not have been as forgiving, like, at all. The UK crowd is savage. Yeah, boos straight round. I'm not gonna lie, that's what I would envision if he did that. I don't even know if they would have hooraed. I feel like it would have been hip hip boo
That'd been
the whole time.
Fucking the Saudi Arabian crowd sitting out there being like, is that extra fight? Is they about to fight again? Or what's going on? But no, fucking yeah, man. Joshua said, y'all want hood, Joshua? Y'all remember me? Huh? What you motherfuckers? It's like, no, but no, on the real though, bro, we get it, bro. That man is human, bro. But he just went about it the wrong way. He could have did all of that he did a couple seconds later at the post-fight interview. He did not have to do that there. Like, I just feel like very like, and I still respect Anthony Joshua, but like, come on, brother, you the one out here trying to set the example for other motherfuckers. You know what I mean? Or at least that's how they try to market you. You know what I mean? You the flagship boy. But I understand like everybody reaches a breaking point. Everybody reaches a point where it's like, I don't want to be that fucking guy, or I've been that guy and y'all still shit on me, because that's what it kind of felt like. It felt like he was just like, well, fuck, man, all my life I've been dedicating myself to this shit, to y'all, to entertaining y'all. And as soon as I start to lose, y'all niggas just try to tell me, oh, well, you should have did this, and you should have did. Like, I literally expected him to like bust down a voice and be like, because like I said, he said in that joke, he said, oh, well, you don't. He actually did mimic the crowd, because he said, oh, well, you don't throw combinations like Marciano, because I'm not fucking Marciano, because I'm big. I'm big as fuck. Like, he was cussing this shit. Like, he was on hood AJ time. I respect it, bro, because everybody has that breaking point. But what I don't respect is you doing it out there, bro. I felt like you could have easily controlled yourself. And look, we see it all the time. Fighters after fights, it's still disrespectful, but do what you need to do to get out there. Just walk out. People do it all the time. They don't wait for the decision. They go in the back. Do that. I'd rather you do that than go out there and do that, bro, because I feel like in your head, you were trying to make yourself feel personable to the crowd. One, when it wasn't your time to do it because you ain't win. And two, it was just not working because it seems so much like you were forcing it. It seems so much that, and I think it's only because it's behind somebody else winning. Hey, he go and do that same spiel and he won. Nobody's saying shit. You won. That felt like you said, Princess, it felt like some shit somebody would say after they won. For real. But like you didn't, bro. So it makes you look, and I can understand being frustrated. Like I said, you're a human, bro. We all human. We all get frustrated. And you're in like a high profile sport. For you, it ain't even fighting one person. They beating you. You just it's rematches. You make, you know what I'm saying? Well, in this case, I feel like Alexander Usyk is just a better fighter. But in Ruiz's case, you just made a mistake and you just had to, you had to grind for that shit back. So I can understand his frustration, but I felt like he could have held it, could have waited, put that in there. I felt like that was hella disrespectful throwing them fucking belts. Like, I get it. Like, I felt like he was holding it. I couldn't really hear what he was saying. It seemed like he was saying, is this what it's for, or something like that, or this is what it's for, or some shit like that. And it's like, bro, don't. First of all, them not your property. You lost. Give them shits back to the guy. So I felt like that's really disrespectful. Now if Usyk pop off and be like, hey, man, give me my shit. You know what I mean? Like, say he did that to somebody who was like, because I feel like Usyk is just, he got lucky with the fact that Usyk doesn't know English very well. Because even before he had the microphone, AJ is like saying like, hold on, let me tell him something. Because Usyk's trying to tell him something. I think Usyk's trying to like consoling him. He said, listen. He's like saying, listen. And AJ's like, no, hold on, bro. Let me say something, bro. Hold on.
He wouldn't do that to Wilder.
He was literally like, you only won because I was not ready.
Yeah, he was like, because he was like, you're strong. I think Usyk said you're strong, and he said, fuck being strong. He said, you're not stronger than me. How did you beat me? Technique. He said because you were technique. Because that's why he went on the mic and said, I wasn't fucking 5 years old fighting and shit. He basically was telling the audience, give me a fucking break. That's literally what he was telling the people. Give me a fucking break. And I'm okay with you telling the people that. But you don't get to do it in that way. You don't. You're not. That's hella disrespectful. And as a man who I feel like you respect the sport, you shouldn't do shit like that, bro. I feel like if you watch somebody else doing some shit like that, AJ himself would chastise that man and probably say, that's bad taste, poor character. And in the same regard, you gotta hold yourself in that same, you know what I mean? His people, his good men, everybody there should have just grabbed that motherfucker and just pushed him back and be like, nah, we know what you about to do right now, and you shouldn't do it. And then, you know what I mean? Shouts to Usyk. But like I said, he lucky that he did that to somebody who didn't really understand English. Because you do that shit with somebody that bro, first of all, AJ himself had to tell himself. He was like, oh, my bad, bro. My bad. He even said it on the mic when he because he realized he was getting too fucking animated. He had too much energy. He's like, my bad. And then he went on and did his whole little speech. Just be careful, bro. And shout out to Usyk, man. I mean, I'm saying shout out, but I also do believe that if Usyk really coherently knew what the fuck was going on, he would be like, man, what the fuck's wrong with this guy? Because he literally grabbed his shit and threw that shit out the ring. What the fuck?
Do you know what
I don't understand.
Do you know what was mad? Sorry, is that when he took the Ukraine flag?
Oh yeah, Usyk was like talking to him, and fucking AJ was like, he was like, hold on, bro, I'm gonna say my shit. I'm gonna say my shit. And Usyk was like, nah, nigga, my flag. Give me my shit back. Like, that's my country. You're not even from there. Like, give. And he's like, oh, my bad, and gave it to him. Like, see, bro, your anger and your frustration is making you look like an asshole, dude. Like. And it's like, come on, bro. You always, for me, as a U.S. nigga, like, you know what I mean? I didn't grow up watching his, his rise and his grind and stuff like that. He's not a hero to me. You know what I mean? I know he's a hero to some. You know what I mean? I understand his backstory and stuff, but I've always looked at AJ as, man, come win or loss, this man respectful. He respect the game regardless. You know what I mean? He take his lumps and whatever. That's one thing. But you doing shit like that, I don't like that, man. It doesn't make you look like you taking your lumps, bro. It just, I get it. And like I said, be frustrated, but just handle it differently, bro. It's always a professional way to handle shit. Could have went to press conference. All that, him crying in a press conference, he could have did that whole speech and cried in the same press conference. And it would have been, you know what I mean? It would have been great. You would have still got your point across, all of that shit. But doing that in there, like, you still reaching a big audience. I don't know if he thought, oh, well, maybe if I do it in here, because everybody's in here, it's going to hit more. But nah, bro. They don't even understand what you're saying, bro. They just come to see you punch a nigga, bro. And it sucks to say that. But, yeah, bro. He handled it poorly, in my opinion.
Yeah, I agree in terms of just time and place. I think everything he said and everything he felt was valid for him. Mm-hmm. And I don't think anyone's in a position to take that away from him. But I do think like someone should have stepped in, or anyone, producers, mic man, someone could have relayed it.
Mic, yeah.
Just been like, because initially the mic wasn't on, you know? The mic wasn't on. And I mean, I guess AJ being AJ, and this whole thing comes into AJ being AJ. Like, he felt all that pressure, and that's what popped out. He was just like a shaken kind of Coke. Like, so when he got given, I don't know many fighters that get given the mic, like take the mic basically when not called for, and then it's off, and the production team basically get that shit on in like 4 seconds. So that was off, and then they turn it on. So from that point, if they can get them to like channel in and turn the mic on that quick, they should have really just turned it out and then been like, and switched the camera off of him, because they're in control of all of those things, just out of respect to the fighter. But I think
Eddie Hearn should have cut it off, bro.
Yeah, exactly. But I think because AJ, they gave him that extra space, and obviously AJ also being AJ, they don't want to piss him off too much, because you know, he might just turn around and go to the IBF commissioner or something, who knows. But yeah, like they didn't want to just turn him off at that point, because it would have been a bit techie to turn him off at that point, because he was so angry. It would have just made him more angry, let's be honest. So I don't think they should have done that. I just think maybe someone from his team, or maybe someone from production, or someone just needed to come and just be like, AJ, we want to interview you live around the corner in the back, so you can say all of this, but to the whole world and Ukraine. Mm-hmm. And he would have been like, yes, that's what I wanted. And then just walked out the ring, or just something to distract his brain a little bit, because he was just so filled up. And again, I feel like most of us can see that it was justified for himself, like for how he's feeling, it's fair. And we all know that especially when you love boxing, you know that it's emotional after fights, especially if you lose and, you know, it's a heavy one. But at the end of the day, they needed to calm that emotion down out of him, or just take him away from it. I don't understand why they let him back in, because he clearly came back still angry. So it's like, just keep him in the back for a bit longer, or just say to him, look, this isn't your time. Or maybe, worse yet, let him do the interview from the back, because they can definitely do that. And that way it's a bit more controlled. You know, he doesn't have the crowd and all of that. But yeah, I think maybe someone from his team or someone should have stepped in a bit earlier, because they kind of left him to his own devices for that whole speech, and it just kept going. Not gonna lie.
For me, as I don't understand what the speech was for or what it meant, but it's like, let the champion who just won the belts get the interview first. I mean, Paulie Man in large, yeah. Adrian Bona fucked his bitch, and he still let him do the interview first.
Yeah.
Right. Paulie waited until the end of the interview to then jump in and get mad.
Don't talk
But at
about
least-
my side piece.
Exactly, there we go. But at least let the guy have his moment first
Right.
before you make it all about yourself. Because to a degree, it is the Anthony Joshua show. But like I said, it's the respect thing where he threw the guy's belts away, shouted at the commissioner, came back, stole the mic, and then done all of that. If he would have just waited for Usyk's interview to be done, it wouldn't be such a big deal as it is. Where it's the fact that he literally took the stage, went off on a tangent. I've never seen a boxer steal the microphone before an interviewer's asked a question. He did a post-fight interview, not interviewer. That's never happened before. So it's like I said, there's a time and a place, but even in the ring, I don't mind it as long as you let the champion get his interview first, let him say his piece. His country's at war, and you're not letting the guy speak. Fair enough, he brought up the war, and I don't think he knew what he was talking about. He even said, "I don't know what I'm talking about." I just feel like Ukraine's been in conflict for the past 10 years, which is basically what he said.
That's why I was mad as well.
Yeah,
He was like,
it was getting cringy, bro.
there's been things going on, but I don't really know about it. But I know there's been things going on. Like, all right, AJ. So what are you trying to say here? What you say, love?
You remember that part when he was like, I remember when it affected Loma's fight. He was like, Loma, didn't it affect your fight? I'm like, bro, this nigga calling people out like he really just had his own he just cut a promo at the end of the show. That's literally what he did, bro.
What made it more weird that I feel like when he did call them out, it was Loma that he called out, right?
Yeah.
When he called him out, I feel like Loma just was like, That's what made it weird. And no one from like where they moved the camera to was even looking at AJ. It was like everyone was looking around like, bro, where is the crew to stop him? Like they were just confused. That's what made it worse. It's not even like no one was looking. It was like they might as well have all just been looking at the sky like, boy, I hope this is over by the time I look back down. Because everyone was confused. Poor flipping, like you said, poor Usyk, because he probably was just looking. He knew something was off key. He just didn't know what was going on. That even the translator was just looking like, this is mad. Like, I feel like if he had been in the ring with someone like Dillian White, it would have been a whole different story.
Bro, he would have, bro, what? Yeah. Bro, literally anybody who can understand English and they're going to say something, some sort of reaction. Like, I don't know if they'll attack him, but they're not going to just let him do that whole shit without saying something.
I feel like Usyk is naturally quite calming with his energy. Mm-hmm. So there's a big part of me that feels like if Usyk understood English, he would have just looked at him and just ignored him basically. So you know where he was trying to soften him, he would have just been like, just let him do what he wants and I'll speak after, because he was just so overwhelmed with joy. He was literally on the opposite end of the spectrum. He was so overwhelmed with joy that all he could see was like, yes, I have belts. Don't matter if it came from the floor, I've got it. He was just you couldn't take him. And even his team was just, they were just like, yeah, let's just let this guy do what they want. I feel like AJ's whole team was like in the same realm and element as him. So they were also pressed, but were trying not to show it. But they just left AJ to let it explode on behalf of everyone. I don't know, I feel a bit sorry for AJ. I think it's just bittersweet. But he really took us through the motions, and I don't think he should have been allowed by so many different people in one space to have gone that far. Like, all right, you took the mic, we started hearing you doing up your speech. We realized this ain't the speech for it. Someone should have come at that point and been like, you know how the interviews come in and they just interrupt anyone. They're like, sorry, can I just rob you for a second while your eye's bleeding so I can talk about how you feel about this loss? Like, where was you lot? Where was you guys to be like, sorry, AJ, can I just take this mic to talk to Usyk whose eyes bleed? Like, this was your time. This was your time to come in and be like, yeah, I'm going to ask someone else something else.
I think for me, another problem with what he done, is AJ's mantras that he has. Stay humble, don't get too high, don't get too low. Where was all of that? Because when he was winning, like, don't get me wrong, he didn't ever get overly excited when he was winning. And he always said, because you don't get too high, don't get too low. When I lose, people are going to be da-da-da-da-da. So he already knew and he had seen this coming, but he still was overcoming all that emotion, which was my problem. I think the only excuse I'd give him maybe was punch drunk, because he took some punches and he was tired. So if he was punch drunk, then fair enough. You're not really in control. But it's like I was gonna say he seems like he knows what he's talking about, but I'm still trying to figure out what he meant by all of that speech. But like all his career, we all knew when he fights that technical boxer who can take his punch, that he wouldn't have a chance. Like, we could all see this coming, so it's just a bit confusing as to why he was so like that. Yeah, just why.
Yeah, I think as well, what we forget is that AJ is so used to having the spotlight without having to ask for it. So like this time he was like, I lost, but like there's so much spotlight on my reaction, and there's just so much in that, and he's just used to being top guy. Even when he lost to Ruiz, he was still kind of top guy in the thing. It was like, AJ, what do you have to say? Like we actually were trying to hear what AJ was saying. There was some sort of excitement to know if he wanted a rematch the first time round. Do you know what I mean? There was still this big essence of the AJ show, and I think literally on Saturday, he felt like the show was actually taken from him. Like you could see that he didn't feel like the A team anymore, and that also got to him because being in his position, there has to be some sort of element of power where you're just like, yeah, I'm the man. I can't imagine being an AJ of a sport. Like you are basically the man. You do no wrong. Like people just want to kiss your gloves for no reason. You have Eddie Hearn just speaking up for you every day. Every day, Eddie Hearn wakes up and just says, yeah, AJ's the best. He'll be talking about anyone else. Like, he'll be talking about any fighter and just in the middle of it, like, Team AJ. So for him to be taken off that pedestal and in such an emotional manner, and also obviously the end of round 12 probably did affect his judgment and how he's feeling, because he did look a bit stunned. It would have been a lot for him. So I think that also played a big part of why he took the mic and went so far off on a tangent. It's almost like he wanted to reclaim the spotlight and just say like, well, this is still my show. Respectfully, I feel like in his head he thought he was saying respectfully, this is still my show, but how it came across was like, that's what it felt like. But like how it actually came across was like, yeah, I'm salty, I lost, but like he's not even that good. You know when you're losing to your brother at like a PlayStation game, and he's always beating you, but like one day you're like, do you know what? You're not even good. I just say you like you just start making up excuses that don't count. Like, well, mum's dinner wasn't nice. Like it was just anything at that point. Like, yeah, Ukraine.
Princess said Joshua was like, I mean, Usyk good. He good. But you see me though. You saw me. I was. You see it? He good. He good. I mean, Olympic gold medals. Yeah. But me, you saw me, right? And I did it from the hood. He ain't from the hood. I was from the hood, man. That's what it felt like, bro. It's like we was from the trenches. I get it, bro. Damn. I get it.
I feel like everybody who resonates with AJ was like, yeah, I hear you, yeah. But, and basically did what AJ did. Like, took the mic from him, was like, I hear what you're saying, AJ. But, yeah, this is nothing to do with nothing that you're saying.
Thank you. Because motherfuckers keep saying that shit. It's like, yes, I get it. And
literally.
You say that when you first win the heavyweight title, I feel like, motherfucker, you've been in this motherfucker now. You know what I mean? You were the same motherfucker happy to go around two time. So that's your experience. So you ain't gotta keep doing that shit every time. You know what I mean? I don't know, bro. I get tired of hearing that sometimes, bro. I'm not to say that to be rude or nothing, because I understand people's backgrounds is hard, bro. You know, telling where people come from. I loved it. We just see it in the UFC. Leon Edwards just said the same shit. You know what I mean? But it's like, okay, bro, fuck. In that sense, when you lose like that, I just feel like you can't pull it out like that. You know what I mean? Like you say that shit when you know what I mean? When you up, bro. Nobody need to, you shouldn't even have been out there, bro. Just say that shit behind closed doors, bro. Say that shit in the post-fight interview. Don't say that shit when somebody is trying to, you know what I mean? Because I actually get to, damn.
I also will say that, like, on like a couple of weeks ago when we actually had a little chat on live, I said, listen, AJ's it's time for him to retire. And you guys were like,
You did say this.
He was talking to you as well. He was talking to people who said he was finished. I think that's who he was talking to.
Yeah, literally. And it's not that I feel like physically his time's to hang up, because I know that everyone, like, automatically you can't take out how his physique, you can't stop that from coming to your brain straight off. Normally when you think of a fighter who's coming to the end of his career, you feel like they look a bit old. Like AJ doesn't look a bit old, but unfortunately he's still of the older side of a pro boxer. But I don't even think it's more about his age. I just think mentally, his mentality is not there. He's been trying to make an impact, like, in his community and back home in his country for the past couple of years now. And if you watch his more sort of off-boxing journey, you see a lot more why his mentality has sort of shifted away. This heart that they're saying he doesn't have, I do slightly agree with it, because I feel like his heart is somewhere else. Like, he's got bigger plans. I feel like deep down he feels like he's served his purpose for boxing and wants to go on to do more. elsewhere and bigger, and that's not a bad thing. I just think, like, you know, taking these fights and not being mentally prepared in the right space is why we have these kind of outbursts. Like, we don't need any more of these outbursts and these little signs for us to be like, yeah, okay, fair enough. Like, we love AJ and he is a big face in boxing, and that is a whole lot of pressure in itself, and maybe that's what's kept him in this position and continuing to push on. But all we have now is a knock-on effect of him feeling that pressure, maybe too many eggs in different baskets or too many things that he wants to achieve, and now he just exploded. Like, so yeah, I would like to bet some money on like which fighters are going to retire when, because I've seen that there's a nice market for it, and I seem to be hitting the nail on the head. Yeah, he does need a break. Exactly. A long one.
Do you guys think
Go ahead.
Sorry, do you guys think with Robert Garcia he could not so much like rebrand his fight style, but Robert Garcia can get back that aggressive, come forward, like you saw the body shots, get him a bit of footwork, and just become a better fighter, just improve. Maybe not beat Usyk, but just show better than what he's been showing recently. I'll take that as a no from Princess. Kuzan?
Yeah, that was a no.
So you're saying, like, you think, are you asking me if staying with Robert Garcia give him some more, it will give him some more bump, maybe some more juice, and we can see some
an actual, like, he'll have game plan and a style instead of just going in there and doing whatever.
I think so, man. Listen, I do think so. I think it will improve, but I do think that maybe AJ has plateaued, in my opinion. And I don't think it's because of his technique or his skill. I think it's his body, bro. I just don't think his frame, like, I don't know, bro. I think people are finding ways around it and can find ways around it just by literally moving around it, looking from what Usyk did. But you know what I mean? Like, I just don't feel like, I feel like his frame and his physique is just holding him back, bro. Far more now. I think that literally was the difference for me in this fight. Was that, bro? And like, I feel like that's played his course before, and it's just when you have a weakness like that, and you go against a fighter that's like Usyk, that's that guy, you're done. You cooked, bro. Like, and I just feel like, yeah, but I still not. Now, having said that, I don't say that saying that he should hang up. I still think he should still fight, because at the end of the day, bro, you know, he still got to punch his chance, bro, and like, he's still a good fighter. You know what I mean? And like, even in that fight, he was cracking Usyk. You know what I'm saying? He was cracking him. It's just Usyk wasn't going down because he got that dog in him. That's what I'm saying. When your weakness like comes into contact with somebody that's just that fighter, is getting exploited, and that's what happened. I feel like I said, that was the distance, bro. That was a difference in that decision. So yeah, I do think that Robert Garcia could add wrinkles to his game plan and could, because people weren't talking about it. AJ's defense was pretty good, bro. Like, I mean, he was getting hit by some shit, but you could tell he was leading his with head movement first. That was some shit I never really see from him, really. Like, you know what I mean? So, and I'm sure Robert Garcia was showing him that, you know what I mean? Showing him how to do like little intricacies and shit like that. So I feel like I look forward to seeing that, but at the end of the day, he's never, I don't know. I feel like he's plateaued. I feel like for as long as he fights somebody that can actually like fight him, you know, because Usyk he was fighting him, bro. He stayed with him. Like, the only times that he really backed off of him or was really showed any less was when he was getting hurt. And that made sense because he didn't want to get dropped. But you seen it. When he wasn't hurt or next round, bam, right back on it. I'm right back on it. I'm pop, staying active, throwing little jabs. I feel like forever he fights somebody like that, a high stamina guy like that, or a guy that's just good with angles and just a superb logic, you getting cooked, bro, just because your physique's just not allowing it. Unless, hear me out, he gets fat, bro. Get fat, bro. If Tyson Fury got skinny, you can get fat, man. Do it. But hey, I'm telling you, bro, I don't know. I just don't think his physique will allow him to be any better than he already is. But not saying that he isn't great, because he is great. Look at what he's accomplished. You know what I mean? Are you kidding me? When I seen his record before the fight, it was like 23. What was it? Like 20. I think it was like 23 wins, 22 KOs. And then it was 2 losses before his third loss. But I was like, damn. I'm like, okay, boy. Like, you know, that's an impressive ass record. And he got some wins. He got some notable people on there, bro. You know. But I still think he should keep fighting because don't we want to see Dillian White versus Anthony Joshua too? Don't I want to see that?
You know what's happening as well. You already know that's gonna be next.
It makes so much sense now.
Yeah.
This is why we love the world. You know what I'm saying? Because the man get flash KO basically by Tyson Fury, and then bing, a man went through a grueling fight, and you know they fight now. I don't know, I'm getting like, ooh, just thinking about it. So he's still exciting, and that's why I feel like he should still fight. And that's why, and Robert Garcia might give him some good bumps. So yes, the long answer to the question is yes, but the short answer to the question is, what'd you say? I meant the short answer to the question is yes. Go ahead, my bad.
Yeah, my short answer is no.
I knew that was coming.
Yep.
You don't want to see him versus Dylan White though.
I would love to see him versus Dillian White. I just feel like, what more do we want to see? We're going to see him tip over the edge. Because now if he loses to Dillian White, can you imagine? Can you imagine?
Amy's face when you said that. No, facts.
And you guys, you know, like, it just sounds good. Like, these fights sound great, but how far do you want to push his brain out?
Yeah, he will. He probably steal somebody. He probably punch somebody in this job.
Listen, he'll probably just still be beating him up after the bell goes around 12. He's going to be like, the fight's not over till I say it is.
Yeah. Everybody sit down. Sit down. Don't get up. You fight me another round.
Right. Then this is it. Like, I just feel like a lot of boxing is about your mental and your mentality. Like, the reason a lot of fighters win when they're faced with adversity is because they have the mental strength to continue, because your mind controls your body. So just like you're saying, like, for someone to lose weight, for someone to gain weight, the mentality has to be right. And people forget that. Like, we're looking at this great fight. Okay, Anthony Joshua versus Dillian White would be great. But, like, is Anthony Joshua's mentality where Dillian White is? Because if it's not, then we're just putting him in the ring to face someone who's actually... Dillian White's been hungry since he became a boxer. Like, he was probably hungry before that. His hunger doesn't really calm down. He just starts cussing a bit more different. Like, his cussing sound a bit different. Sometimes he wants to go left with his cussing, sometimes he wants to go right. But what remains the same is that he's still like, yeah, look, we can do it. He gets angry, but he's angry because his hunger is still there. Anthony Joshua is angry because he knows deep down that hunger wasn't there in the right time, and he just, whatever it was, just didn't fall through that day. But it's not the same hunger of a man who's really hungry to win. But yeah, I just feel like the mentality is what runs everything. And I feel like AJ's mentality has left the building a little while ago. And it's clear for me to personally see for some reason. And maybe that's because I follow a bit more of his journey outside of boxing. I don't really follow it like that, but like, I know that he wants to do big things, and I appreciate how much effort that takes. But yeah, I can't, unless Robert Garcia can change his mentality, then I don't see any point. But I would love to see the fight, so bring it on in it. I'm ready to see AJ react again. I'm ready to see Dillian White doing AJ if Dillian White loses. Let's see. May the best angle get the better of them at this point.
Try that shit with Dillian White. He going what? They gonna be fighting in the street. They gonna be wrecking. There's not gonna be no bullshit.
Yeah, he's gonna start telling AJ his real name again. He's gonna be like, that's not even your name, mate. He's gonna lose his mind. Dillian White will be like, give me the mic.
That's hilarious.
It's gonna be a different fight.
That's pretty fucking
funny. So Marvin Hagler once said, it's tough to get out of bed to do road work at 5 a.m. when you've been sleeping in silk pajamas, yeah. Joshua's been sleeping in silk pajamas since about his 6th, 7th fight because he's been making bank against. He could fight me. I might make $1 million. You never know, and I could make $1 million. I don't know how much he's making, but I could make $1 million. Every fight he has, he's just making bank on bank on bank. Like he fought Carlos Takam and sold what 60,000 seats. So it's like money's not a motivation. You probably make more money outside of boxing than most boxers make in boxing. Yeah. So literally, all he's got to fight for is pretty much legacy, and I'm not sure. Like I said, 2-time heavyweight champion, unified. I don't know if he's got the hanger of he wants to beat Usyk. I don't know if he's got that sort of hunger in him where he looks at the people across him and thinks, in my fight, but everything I want to do is just to beat you. Because like you said, he started boxing late. He only started boxing, like you said, so he don't get beaten up in jail. These guys do boxing because they want to be the best. I'm not sure how much in him really actually wants to be the best, more so than he wants to use boxing as a vehicle, more so than he actually loves boxing. So I think because of that, I don't think he'll ever be able to be the best because he doesn't have that kind of winner's mentality. From time you're losing, someone saying, "I only lost because I was on boxing all my life." It's like, no, that shouldn't even factor in your head. All you should say is next time I need to just go back, work on a few little things, and then I'll come back and beat him. Not
Especially
that
after what he's achieved. That's why it just makes no sense. You're like, you've achieved so much, you can't even say that.
Yeah, bro. Yeah, because that's what I'm saying. You say that when you first win the heavyweight title, but like, bro, you've been in this shit. We know you. You know what I mean? You've been out here.
but you can't say that after they beat Charles Martin. There's no way.
That's true. See, I forgot about that. Ugh. Man.
But yeah, man. It's been 50 minutes. I had a couple little topics I want to touch on, but
go ahead. No, give me one, two. Me too.
Oh, okay. I'll give one.
I'll be damned if we talk about AJ the whole goddamn time.
There was a lot to talk about, man. A lot going on.
No, real talk. I'll give two. One quick one, yeah.
Oh, sorry. Can I just say that AJ did issue an apology for his behavior?
Yeah. He had no choice.
Of course he was going to. He better. Shit.
Standard. Yeah, standard.
Anthony, you better.
Standard social media. 22.
Yeah, he's got a good PR team, good social media team. They sorted that out.
They did the right thing. They just couldn't cut his fucking mic off.
Yeah, literally.
PR was like, no, don't stop him. I need some work to do for tomorrow.
Yeah,
All right, first one. I haven't kept up with it in the last few days, but please, someone told me that Don King has paid Daniel Dubois.
I've not seen any change.
We need a counter because it's on watch. It's on.
He's not going to pay
right now.
He's not going to pay, you know.
Oh hell no!
Wait, hold on. Who told Daniel Dubois that the fight was it televised?
No,
I don't know. Not with that camera.
I don't think.
That's what I'm saying. Like a non-televised or televised on a stream or something on YouTube, maybe in a community center. He's gonna earn him $1 million. Where?
That was a fucking a hotel restaurant type lobby deal. It was wild. It was a bingo hall. Okay, it was horrible.
I think people will say, "How do fighters still sign with Don King?" Which in itself is a mad thing. But how do you be Daniel Dubois of that stature? All the people around you. You got the team. You got Frank Warren. You got everyone with you. And then you think, you know what? Don King's offering me $1 million, and I think I'm gonna take it.
Yeah, that's not good IQ right there. That's not good IQ. That was not a good IQ maneuver. My thing is, what about Don King makes people so he doesn't look inviting to me? You know what I mean? He doesn't look like, man, I wanna hug you. I wanna shake your no, you know what I mean?
Do you know what? Right. His terrible reputation is what draws you to him because you're going to get some limelight on whatever you're doing with him because people are going to want to know why you're doing it. So regardless of whether it's good, bad, or you're going to go bankrupt, there's still going to be some sort of money coming your way because people just want to know. Even to get an interview with Dubois right now and be like, just like AB said, what made you pick him? You have all these people and you went, yeah, him. That in itself is a headline. Forget the YouTube video for the fight. That in itself, I would rather watch the answer to that and have Don King sit next to him and be like, yes, this was the plan all along.
Maybe his speech talking, but maybe he's just like, man, put me in the same room with him. I bet you I get him come out with. Maybe I don't know. Maybe he got the gift of gab or something. Yep. Bro. I don't get it, bro. Nothing about him says green flag, bro. Especially now. So I don't, you just want to fuck your career up. I don't understand it. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
I think the funniest thing Don King said was that he'd put the money into an escrow account. Yeah. And this is after the fight. But then I was thinking, if you have the funds to put in an escrow account. Why don't you just put into Daniel Dubois' account? What's all these extra measures? Like, just pay him instead of paying a random account the money. Just pay it into
Oh,
his
man.
account. So from him saying that, I know he's never getting that money. I don't
No,
know what he's going to
know
do.
what I'm doing
I think
is
he's
I'm
sued him.
stalling. It's a good technique you learn across the world. It's called stalling. And that's where I lie to your face. Another great technique used around the world.
He's just so shady. I don't get how he's even still allowed to be in the boxing scene at this point. Should have just been shunned by now. Like, nah, we don't talk about him. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, bro. Someone scammed some of the greatest boxers of all time, and he did not get shunned for that.
I know, it's wild. I still don't understand it to this day. That's why I'm saying, like, just his name alone makes you interested to read it. Like, I will read an article on him before I read on, I don't know, Chris Eubank Jr. or some shit. Like, just for the sheer fact that I know something is happening.
Oh yeah, that fight's supposed to happen. Did that fight happen? I'm tripping.
See how your brain is like.
Ben, yeah, soon.
Bro, we talked about it on the show before where I was like saying that I don't really know that much about the UK boxing scene unless like I know the two, like, and I know these two, of course, bro. But like, man, Connor, I'm sorry, you had another topic. Go ahead. I forgot all about that shit.
Yeah, we'll do that one on a week where we don't have too many good topics because I think we can talk about that one for ages. But last quick topic, keep it heavyweight. Deontay Wilder, he's coming back against Robert Helenius. I remember when I told someone at work, they were like, "He's fighting who?" And I was like, "Exactly." Exactly. But don't get me wrong, Helenius, he's past his prime, but he's a name, he's a someone, he's a body.
Yeah.
And Wilder just needs to get that confidence back because Helenius, he rocked Dylan White. Like, he's got power, and I think he just beat up your boy Kuzan. What's his name?
Polish McGee.
Yeah.
Adam
Kalnaki.
Yeah. Beat his ass twice.
Yeah, exactly. So he's not bad. Give Wilder some confidence back. And then after that, I think Wilder versus the winner of Ruiz versus Ortiz, it's all like adding up, making sense.
No, bro, no. Because how y'all got that fight? Y'all got that at 50-50, or who y'all think gonna win that jump?
Ruiz should beat him. If Ruiz doesn't beat him, I'll be very disappointed.
Okay, but you see what you just said? You said should. And the fact that you said should shows me that you have a little bit of doubt that Luis Ortiz could win. And see, that's why I don't want Deontay to fight them, because I don't want to see Luis Ortiz versus Deontay Wilder 3. I don't want to see that.
No.
I don't want to see that.
Why He's 400 years old.
Yeah, I don't want to see that. So that's a must. I will gladly see Ruiz versus Wilder. Fuck yeah. Yes. Because I think Ruiz could actually beat him too. But like, that's talk for another time. But so I don't know, bro. But yeah, continue. I'm sorry. That shit just threw me off because I just thought, if that happens, we have a chance to see the third fight between them, and I don't want to see that.
No, that's it. I just wanted to know what you lot thought of Wilder versus Helenius.
I also, if anyone cares, would like to say that I think Wilder is also kind of ready to stop.
I knew you were gonna say that.
To be fair, when someone with Wilder's kind of confidence and aura and Bronze Bomber, the demon, the spirit.
They just made a statue for this man in his hometown. Yeah. He ain't stopping shit. All right.
But he thought about retiring, and someone with his kind of confidence to think maybe I shouldn't do this again. It's like the wires, they're not connecting anymore.
Not wiring, and this is it. Like,
he coming back. I think if he loses, not loses, he ain't gonna lose. I don't think he's gonna lose. But if he does lose or shows a lapse, even just a lapse, because you shouldn't even be showing lapses. You know what I'm saying? Because there's levels to this shit. You shouldn't be showing lapses. But if he shows a lapse, I feel like if he shows a lapse, then maybe he will falter. But other than that, nah, I
feel like even when he fought Tyson Fury for the trilogy, he was already. I was just looking at him confused. Like, the game was not there where I thought it was going to be for that fight. And even before that, I was already thinking about it because all of the excuses, and I don't know if it was just a PR stunt or what, but everything that was coming out about, like, leading up to that fight, about the last two fights, it was just a lot. Like, it's a lot. There's PR stunts, there's publicity stunts, there's things that just get the crowd going, but then there's that. And I think that for me was a bit too far in the wrong direction of like hyping the fight in a good way, and didn't make him look as good as it could have if he had just said something else or nothing at all. But yeah, I don't know. I feel very similar to him about how I feel for AJ.
All right. My thoughts is, man, I want. You know what I want, man? I want Derek Chisora versus fucking Deontay Wilder, man. That's a fight. I was staying on that hill. That should have been his comeback fight. But anyway,
and this is even it. Sorry, just to say, like, this whole thing about the mentality, it's a big thing. Like, it's a huge thing, because while you're fighting someone of that level as Deontay Wilder, I understand that you need someone to get your confidence again, but it also speaks volumes at the same time.
I mean, yes, but can we be real? Let's be 100% for real. Let's be for real, right? And no disrespect to Deontay Wilder, but on his in his title reigns, and a lot of people he fought. Come on,
he's all right. I mean,
yeah, I mean, even out of the big three,
do you know what
with him, Fury, and Joshua? Oh, my bad, Joshua. Come on, we know who has the best resume out of those three, and that's not even like it's that crazy. Yeah. You know what I mean?
I can appreciate that, but the problem that happens, I think, with big names is that they might just get one really big fight or a few really big fights, but the whole resume doesn't really add up. Like, okay, so you're undefeated, but who have you really fought? But then for you to have that type of resume and then fight someone who's not really as well known, it just doesn't look good on you, which is why it's important to keep your resume consistent and to fight people in the right ranking, like in the right rankings to you, and make sure your fights are good matchups and 50-50s. So even that in itself is also speaking volumes. But I do like Deontay Wilder. I think he's a great character for the sport. I just think, like, the last time he got in that ring with Fury for the trilogy, he just didn't look like he was in the form that I was hoping for. And that was like your biggest fight.
I think that the Robert Helenius pick is fine. I think this is a fight. Woo. You know, but it's fine. Because at the end of the day, can I be frank too? Like I said, I love Wilder. He got skill. You know, he's lacking in some areas, but bro, he's a professional fighter. Like I said it before a couple of weeks ago on another podcast. That man won a fucking Olympic medal with the way he fights. That's insane, dude. You know what I mean? You should take solace in that. But what got him to this fame in this dance wasn't that he was fighting with a consistent resume. It was that when he hits motherfuckers, they start doing the chicken dance and he creates viral knockouts. Half of those people he's knocked out in his title reign, even leading up to his title reign, I bet you no casual could tell you who the fuck he knocked out. You know what I mean? They only know it because of how they look. Arthur Spilzer on the ground doing pretty much dabbing and shit. Like, you know what I mean? Like, that's what got him to the show. So that's why I'm not like taken back by, oh, he's fighting Robert Helenius. Bro, he fought people like he fought Chris Areola, right? He fought fucking, you know what I mean? He was fighting Cab. Not to disrespect Chris Areola, but like, come on, Chris Areola old, bro. Too on top of that. Like, you know what I mean? So I'm not surprised that he took that. I thought that was I think it's a very safe fight for him. What I think will happen in the fight, though, is I think Robert Helenius is going to do some funny shit. Like, I think he's going to hit him with something that's going to surprise him and is going to create it. But I do think Wilder's going to win. And I think he's going to win by knockout. But Helenius, though, is crafty, bro. He old, too. But he's a veteran, and he can kind of fight a little bit. And I've seen Wilder struggle with people who it's like, come on, bro, you shouldn't really struggle with this guy. You know what I mean? But he's knocked them the fuck out, too, though. So, you know what I'm saying? But, yeah, that's how I feel about the fight. I'm gonna watch it. It's gonna be great. I'm gonna watch it because I know somebody getting knocked out. That's one thing you can count on with this man is excitement, and I'm here for it. You know what I mean? So that's how I feel about the fight.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure he'll win.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he'll win too. If Helenius wins, you gotta pack it up.
Take this out. Crop this out.
It's done. Okay. Oh my god.
All right, you guys got any other little last comments?
Oh yeah, I see it, man. It's not ready yet. I don't think it's ready yet.
Nah,
but get ready.
Few more little things to work out, and then we'll be ready.
But you see, we increasing it because look, all three of us, we didn't even plan this. We already knew what it was. It's in our DNA. Y'all need to get like us, bro. I'm telling you.
We
Dropping
did not.
soon, man.
I love that, bro.
Yeah, so Purist Apparel coming very soon. You can follow the Instagram links in the bio,
Yes.
as with both of their links as well.
Yes.
Yeah, make sure you hit that like button. Keep following on the Instagram. Thank you guys for all your support. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you too for being here. Yeah, that's about it. Can keep it boxing. Hopefully back next Monday. We're definitely back next Monday. Actually, gonna make sure every single week we're gonna be back.
No, we're back.
Yeah, make sure you like, comment, subscribe. See you guys next time.
Thank you, everyone.
Oh, I did the wrong hand side. There we go. Yeah.